Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to look into a landmark judgment passed by the Supreme Court of India on divorce on the grounds of mental cruelty under Section 1311A of Hindu Marriage Act 1955. Now let's look into the judgment. This is between Suman Singh versus Sanjay Singh. Suman, a homemaker, and Sanjay, a government employee living in Delhi, tied the knot on 26 to 1999 following Hindu rituals. Their marriage bore two daughters born on 2002 and 2006 respectively. On 11/7/2010, Sanjay filed for divorce on the grounds of mental cruelty under Section 1311A of Hindu Marriage Act. Sanjay's plea for divorce had several incidents that he claimed constituted cruelty. He cited 9 specific incidents. Now let's look into it one by one. Incident number 1. The day after marriage, Suman came out late in the morning in her night dress when Sanjay's relatives were present, showing that what Sanjay considered a lack of respect. Incident number 2. On a New Year's celebration at Suman's parental home, Suman spent most of her time with the family members, leaving Sanjay alone. Incident number 3. Suman showed little interest in attending family functions and festivals at Sanjay's house. Incident number 4. Suman's behavior towards Sanjay's parents was indecent. It's very important to note that Sanjay did not provide detailed incidents. Incident number 5. In the year 1999, in the month of July, Suman insisted that the couple lived separately from Sanjay's parents. Incident number 6. Suman was neglecting household duties and often insisted Sanjay to eat outside. Incident number 7. On a Diwali celebration, Suman's behavior was rude towards Sanjay's family members. Incident number 8. Suman's behavior towards Sanjay's friends during a visit was deemed inappropriate. Incident number 9. This is the crux of the issue. Incident number 9. Suman misbehaved with Sanjay in front of his colleagues at his workplace. These were 9 incidents that Sanjay cited constituted cruelty. Now let's look into Suman's stand. Suman denied these 9 allegations made by Sanjay and sought for restitution of conjugal rights under Section 9 of Hindu Marriage Act, ascertaining that it was Sanjay who had withdrawn from her company without any reasonable cause. Now let's look into the legal battles. The case first went to the family court, which is the trial court, which ruled in favor of Sanjay, granting him divorce and dismissed Suman's plea for conjugal rights. Aggrieved by this, Suman approached the High Court, which again upheld the decision of family court. Unhappy with the outcome, Suman approached the Supreme Court. Now let's look into the observations and findings of Supreme Court. Supreme Court cited a landmark judgment on divorce on the grounds of mental cruelty under Section 1311A of Hindu Marriage Act, which is Samar Ghosh versus Jaya Ghosh. In this judgment, the court provided a guidelines for 16 different types of mental cruelty and also very clearly explained that mental cruelty cannot provide a uniform standard that can be applied to every case. Considering the principles and guidelines provided in Samar Ghosh versus Jaya Ghosh, the Supreme Court applied the same to examine the present case, which is Suman Singh versus Sanjay Singh. After examining meticulously Sanjay's allegations towards Suman, the court made following observations. Now let's look into it one by one. In observation number 1, isolated and stale incidents. Most of the incidents that Sanjay cited occurred soon after marriage or years before he filed for divorce. Isolated incidents, especially years old, does not constitute or does not satisfy the criteria for mental cruelty. According to the guidelines provided in Samar Ghosh versus Jaya Ghosh, an action to constitute mental cruelty, an action must have sustained impact on the mental health of the spouse and should be recurring in nature. In the present case, since the couple lived together until 2006 and they even had their second daughter around that time, the court inferred that any alleged incidents before 2006 was either to be condoned or was considered or was not severe enough to be considered as cruelty. This was the first observation made by Supreme Court. Now let's look into the second one. Lack of specificity and evidence. Court emphasized that most of the incidents that Sanjay cited which occurred after 2006 was vague and lacked in detailing. For example, he did not specify appropriate date, exact time, or even the exact nature of Suman's behavior that he claimed was cruel. Court emphasized that it is very important to provide specific and credible evidence to constitute mental cruelty. In this case, most of the allegations that Sanjay had made was vague. Therefore, general allegations without substantial proof cannot justify the dissolution of marriage. This was the second observation made by Supreme Court. Now let's look into the third. No recurring pattern. Court emphasized that mental cruelty must have a recurring pattern of behavior or a pattern of behavior that continues over time. Incidents such as Suman's misbehavior at Sanjay's workplace did not have a broader pattern of abuse. This being an isolated incident and there was lack of pattern of abuse, this particular incident cannot be considered as mental cruelty. These were the observations made by Supreme Court of India. Based on these observations, the court finally concluded and passed the judgment stating that incidents cited by Sanjay did not meet the threshold for mental cruelty as they lacked specificity and evidence. And most of the incidents that Sanjay had cited were stale and years old. Therefore, the Supreme Court allowed Suman's appeal. So what have we learned from this particular judgment? Let me explain you the key takeaways from this judgment. With my experience, with due respect, it's very, very important to be selective with facts. When your client comes to you and when they narrate their entire story, it's crucial not to put in every single detail in your plea or written. It's very important to examine the facts and supporting evidence or supporting proof to your claims. Only then, only those kind of facts should be taken into consideration and should be incorporated in your plea or written. Number 2, when you are fighting for a divorce case, especially on the grounds of mental cruelty, it is very, very crucial to consider the relevance of incidents. Incidents should be very, very recent one. It shouldn't be years old. Like in the judgment of Suman Singh versus Sanjay Singh, the court emphasized the importance of providing recent incidents. Stale incidents cannot be considered as mental cruelty. So, citing incidents which is 1 month to 6 months prior would be better than citing years old incidents. So be watchful about providing incidents, providing recent incidents. Number 3, how did the court examine mental cruelty? it is very important to understand the essence of your case first. Then read the relevant judgment. First, understand that the mental cruelty that you are citing falls into those 16 different types of mental cruelty that has been cited in Samar Ghosh versus Jaya Ghosh case, Judgement. Because the Supreme Court categorically told mental cruelty, especially considering the example of Suman's misbehavior at husband's workplace, cannot be automatically considered as misbehavior because it could be for various underlying reasons. Mental cruelty must be context specific and must be evaluated based on human behavior in particular circumstances. So, be watchful while citing mental cruelty. Understand the essence, understand what's mental cruelty, and then cite in your judgment. Cite in your petition, plea, or written. So, these are the key takeaways